Hello guys, and welcome. It is ThatSrb2DUDE here today, bringing you yet another Splatoon 2 video. And today is the 5th episode and the final episode of how do we get into the Splatoon 2 competitive scene. Now, if you have made it to this episode, I'm gonna say give yourself a pat on the back, because basically this is somewhat of a bonus episode and it's not really required for you to actually have in order for you to actually get yourself within the competitive scene. However, it is a really nice add-on if you've made yourself a team, you got some scrims going, and you're entering some tournaments and whatnot. And the topic I would like to talk about today is branding yourself. Now again, it's not exactly required for you to do this, but it's also just a good way to get your name out there. Now usually when you join into some sort of competitive scene, you want to have some sort of way that people can then follow you on and then see what your team is all about or how good you are as competitive players. Because personally, I've never really heard of a competitive player that doesn't want people to know that they're good at the game or competitive at all. Like, I don't even think that exists. I mean, if it does, send me an example, please. But of course, there are many ways you can do this. Now, the first thing I would like to mention is having a team Twitter. And first thing for why a team Twitter can be really good is because if you, let's say you join in a tournament or stuff like that, and it happened to be an extremely big tournament, and people would like to find out more about your team and how good you guys are in the future. So, of course, as a viewer, you know, if I was viewing that tournament, I see a team that's really good, I'm just like, oh, that's a pretty good team. So, in that sense, I would look on Twitter and see if these people have some sort of following. And there we go. Type the team's name, comes up in Twitter, and there we go. We have this Splatoon team's Twitter that does a lot of frequent updates about how their team's going, what they're doing, what types of tournaments that they may be entering in, and so on and so forth. Here are just a couple of examples. We got Go Splatoon, you have Kraken Paradise, you have Hive Splatoon, and so on and so forth. As you can see with all of these Twitters, they frequently update themselves, maybe if they got first place in a tournament, if they're about to play in a tournament, if they're doing some other sort of event with some of their players. And it's just things like that, so people who follow your team's Twitter can just go on along with the ride with stuff like that. It's also really helpful to have stuff like this because you could be in situations where maybe you go into a looking for games chat, maybe you're just trying to find a quad squad or a twin league squad, whichever, just to play a little bit of Splatoon with like maybe a random person. Maybe you get into a VC and you have some conversations about competitive Splatoon, and then you mention to them that, hey, I'm in a competitive Splatoon team, here's my, you know, my Twitter. In that sense, it's kind of like a wholesome advertise in a way, because it's just like, hey, we're just, you know, chilling, here's my Twitter, and then they send you their Twitter as well, and then it becomes kind of a thing like, hey, that person may follow you or you may follow them. So just another way of, you know, getting your name out there and just letting other people know that you play competitive Splatoon. This generally is a great way to get yourself within the Twitter community of, I guess, Splatoon, because a lot of talk does go on Twitter as well. So I guess if you are, you know, just having some fun games and squads and leagues and stuff like that with other people, and they happen to have a Twitter, then it can be a thing where it gives you a little bit more motivation to, you know, conversate with more people in that sense. So that way it's going to be easier for you to actually find what's the chit chat about. Of course, you guys are free to do what you want, but, you know, it's just a couple tips of how you get yourself into that side of things. Another good platform that you guys can use to, you know, brand yourself and such is using a team YouTube account. Now, the types of things that you would post to YouTube, you know, it could be a variety of different things. You can post maybe some highlights of a certain player / montage of a certain player doing really well in a tournament. You guys could do some sort of team thing, so like you get together and do like a podcast of certain update in the scene. You guys could be playing League and some funny moments happen, so you compile all of that into some sort of video. Of course, with YouTube, you guys are the decider of whatever goes into your channel. So don't feel like that what I'm saying you is just what you have to do. I mean, it's just a couple of ideas that I can throw out there for you. But, of course, the best way to be successful with YouTube teams and such like that is being the most creative as possible. Creme Fraiche, that was a competitive Splatoon team, is a really good example of how you could go about doing your YouTube team page. So if you want a good example of how you want to go about this, then I'd recommend that you look at this YouTube page. Now, the last example, which probably you guys have already done, is of course creating your own team Discord. Obvious reasons, like I said before in a previous video, is it's good to have a team Discord if you have scrims with other people and they maybe want to become your scrim partners, so they join your server so that they can conversate more with you guys, or generally just having more people to play with. It's also good for people who want to follow you more, so they will join your Discord in that sense. Discord's just a really good way in general of just talking to the people you want to talk to in a much faster pace. Now, of course, to end off, all of these things do require a certain amount of skills, such like graphic design, video editing, you name it. And again, this is why I say for this video that it is a bonus, because it's not necessarily required, because I'm not going to expect everybody to have these types of skills. But if it's a thing where you really want to get your name out there, then these are some good skills to start learning in order to actually brand yourself, to make people know who you guys are, and have people follow your journey of competitive Splatoon. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say for this video. I mean, of course, there's probably some other ways where you guys can brand yourself and like get yourself out there and make people know who you are. But these methods are a good way of starting. So, with all of that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the How to Get Into Competitive Splatoon series. It's been a 5-part series, and I hope that you guys who have been watching it have, I guess, got yourself more within our Splatoon 2 competitive community. With all that being said, guys, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both if you're feeling generous. And as always, guys, it has been ThatSrb2DUDE, and I shall see you guys in a future video.